Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to round 8 of season 2 of our NASCAR 25 career mode. Today we head to Texas Motor Speedway. Yes! As any NASCAR fan will know, Texas is arguably the worst place in all of NASCAR, or at least Texas Motor Speedway is the worst venue in all of NASCAR. I've tried to avoid it as best as possible, but sadly this season we are going to be making our debut here. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live yesterday from Rockingham, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. We had a pretty good race once again. Corey Heim took the victory for what was his third win of the campaign so far, and in doing so now means he is back ahead of myself in the championship, and also has one more playoff point than me so far this campaign as well. Jack Wood, of course, still based on his winning your in system, in third spot there, just ahead of Lane Riggs, Chandler Smith, with Majeski, Hemrick, Ankrum, and Grant Enfinger there, as well as Caden Honeycutt inside your top 10. So even if we hadn't won any races just yet, we would still be in the top 10 overall in the playoff standings just by how consistent we've been and how well we've driven in more recent weeks. But yeah, as we cross over 1/3 distance this season, I feel like I am learning. I feel like I'm gaining more and more knowledge about how this game works as well. Now, oh, there we go. We can hire another mechanic then, Christopher Smith. We will bring into the team, and he will bring 50 work points with him as well there. So constantly just trying to check and make sure I get all of those sorted. We've got also new sponsor interest apparently. So Carrera, they're expecting a top 10 from us this weekend, and we could potentially look at signing with them into the future as well. Now, we've got a bit of work that needs doing as well on last week's truck, of course. It took a bit of a beating out at the Heart of Healthcare 200, or that is obviously the next event that we're going to be heading to. But I think, will we try and do everything possible to it? I think we probably... should we? I think no. What? We'll do mid-repair on everything just to make sure that it is pretty much all good to go. You don't need a truck that is perfect, like 100 out of 100. So there you go then. Obviously getting some decent upgrades on. And that'll mean we're ready, of course, for next time out as well there. Of course, if you're new and you're not already, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed to the channel. We are trying to hit 2.5k subs here as well at the moment. But yeah, without further ado then, let's head to Texas.
Racing from all across the Lone Star State and beyond. Welcome to the legendary Texas Motor Speedway. The action is always bigger, bolder, and faster here in Texas. So grab your gear, hold on to your hats, and make some noise.
Well, here's a fun fact for you all then. I don't own Texas. Inside iRacing, it's just a circuit that I've never bothered to buy because A, I don't like Texas Motor Speedway, and B, I've never really needed it inside the game as well there. As I think, have I just done the pit lane exit very illegally? Yes, I have. But this place, though, of course, has been through so many configurations, so many tweaks and changes to try and make it more entertaining, and it's really, really weird. Turn 3 and 4 are, of course, quite tight, quite narrow, but turn 1 and 2 are way wider and feel slightly flatter as well, though, so it's a rather peculiar oval now, and I think obviously by trying to make it obviously a bit different, turn 1 and 2 versus 3 and 4, to try and create a little bit of intrigue around here. But of course, only with one lap of qualifying, and I've messed it up. We're in the wall through 1 and 2 there. That is not ideal. We've just got to try and limp back round then to finish off this run. Sadly, of course, here with only the one opportunity, I might have just messed that up for good. As we try and bring this truck through 3 and 4, though. Gotta try and still get back round to the line there and put ourselves somewhere anywhere near the top 15. 32.6. P20 on the grid. No, I didn't. I did not do my best. That was not a solid run, crew chief. I have let myself down there. It is going to be Corey Heim, though, on the pole, just ahead of Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson this weekend. So the 7 and the 07 both making an appearance. Lane Riggs there ahead of Chandler Smith and Tyler Ankrum, with Majeski, Enfinger, and Daniel Hemrick just ahead of Caden Honeycutt inside your top 10. But yeah, we definitely had the pace to fight right towards the front. It's just a shame that I'm a bottle job.
Get on your feet. It's time to go NASCAR Truck Series racing as we go trackside from the most famous words in all of motorsports. Drivers, start your engine!
Well, we know we have got a fast truck here tonight. I've just got to try and actually do something with it, which I certainly didn't manage to do in qualifying. Obviously, I still haven't taken a Truck Series pole, but I've normally been pretty competitive over one lap and feel like normally, obviously, I can get the laps hooked up. But yeah, just 1 and 2 here are so under script that I really just had kind of no real reference point. There we go. Nice to see William Sawalich as well back in the Truck Series today. I mean, I will give it credit. You can pick up some big speed here, as we'll try and give Gio Rosero a nice big push down the back stretch, down in towards 3 and 4. Who is that just in front of him there? That is the 15 there of Gray. So, come on. Easy does it. Tanner Gray there. Just trying to hold it in. As well as Gio Rosero there. Didn't realise he was still on my outside there. I think that is Curry as well. Bailey Curry on the inside. And again, don't run too wide up towards the wall. Oh, I'm going to skim the wall there. Luckily, hopefully not doing too much damage. Or no damage at all to the truck. I mean, they are stock cars. They're designed to take a bit of a beating, aren't they? But not quite what I did in qualifying there, but obviously it's going to be really, really interesting to see now what our speed is like over the course of this weekend there. I mean, these guys, we've definitely got a truck that should be kind of competing for a top 10 still. Obviously, we need a top 10 for that sponsorship agreement as well, but I believe this is about a 70-lap race, I want to say, 30. I think are going to be the stages tonight. Obviously, this place is a bit bigger than Rockingham there, as we will try and give fellow Matt of the Crafton variety a bit of a push down the back straight. But yeah, we're 3 and 4 are a lot more cambered, despite the fact there isn't as much room to wiggle. You really can carry a lot of extra speed there through 3 and 4, is getting very, very loose. Connor Mosak didn't like the fact I gave him a push last weekend, so I'm not going to do the same here. Just going to try and get right the way around him by the time we get into T1 and Turn 2 once more. It's Caden Honeycutt there, hopefully going to be able to get a nice slipstream from him. Will we get the power down over Mosak, though? Yes, we will. And down the backstretch then, despite a bit of a shaky start, we've done all right here, made some good progress. Hines still leading ahead of, obviously, I guess both of them, yeah, obviously two-time champions there. As a little bit of a wobble through the final quarter, but I mean, look at that. We're really confident through Turn 3 and Turn 4. It's just 1 and 2 I really struggle with. How odd is that? As we get to 1/3 distance then of this first stage, of course, pretty much always named stage 1 is more about learning than anything else here, making sure the truck feels good, seeing what the tyre wear is like and everything like that, and also trying to pass Ben Rhodes around the outside through Turn 1 and Turn 2. Yeah, tyre wear here seems to be really not much of a factor there. It was really odd. Last week at Rockingham, it felt like the closer you got to the wall, the more kind of push you had away from it. Here at Texas, the closer you get to the wall, it just wants to wash out, like back at Atlanta. Really, really frustrating to try and get used to. But yeah, I think once again then, the play is probably going to be, obviously, just take tyres at the end of stage 2. But could you gamble? Take tyres at the end of stage 1, try to be quick, and then obviously try and claim some freebies ready for stage 3. I don't know. Either way, though, I want to just make sure that we have got good speed. Yeah, we're not really going to lap many drivers either, are we? Through the stages as well. I think you're going to get, obviously, to the back of the pack, definitely, for a Corey Heim. But you probably, unless we get a well-timed caution, you're not going to lap many here, as can we try and get a switch then on Ben Rhodes, or out of Turn 4? Again, he's really adamant he wants to hug the inside line there, and it's not working for him, costing himself a run back in towards Turn 1. And Rhodes there, that 99, has been disposed of. A little bit left then of stage 1 as well, getting right up to the back of Daniel Hemrick there. Didn't know if he was going to try and turn across me, so just easing it in then through 1 and Turn 2, trying to be nice and smooth with it. But how could it be so wide open here, and yet still the racing seems to have strung out pretty quickly? Looks like Corey Heim now is starting to deal with some lap traffic as well, but I mean, with so much room to manoeuvre, surely they're not going to be much of a concern towards the end of stage 1. 6 laps left to go then. There's quite a few trucks just in front of us, but I don't know if any of those are, kind of lap traffic there. I mean, look at that, almost 4 wide back into Turn 1. That is, yeah, Steve Malozzi, Clay Greenfield then on the inside of that first corner there. Are they going to move back up the racetrack? Yes, they are. Luckily, I had the grip there to be able to cut back down low. Here is Ty Majeski. And obviously, Chandler Smith then just with him. So Chandler Smith rocking a different paint scheme then this weekend, if I remember correctly. Because obviously we spent so much of last time out just staring at the rear of his truck. But closing in a bit more then is, oh, look at that. Ty Majeski there throwing a bit of a mean trick. Trying to just box him in. And I think that was Jason Alexander there on the outside. But that 38 truck then of Smith there. Yeah, he's obviously got the title sponsor of this race, SpeedyCash.com, plastered all over his truck. That is the Luna car then of Tyler Ankrum just in front of us here. But yeah, I feel like we've built up some good confidence. We've got a good turn of speed right towards the end of this first stint there. As Norm Benning. Sorry, Norm. He's just kind of there on the outside, and we've got to try and find a way around him. So can we go the long way around Majeski through turn 1 and turn 2? Tyler Ankrum there maybe just get caught out a little bit. Oh, behind Frankie Muniz again. The truck just washes up there, and you can see immediately Majeski will say thank you very much. And maybe so will Smith. Nope, thinks better of it. That time round there is you've just got to try and get it as close to the apron as you possibly can. But through 3 and 4, like I said, the AI, they really do like to take it incredibly tight, and it's just not working for them. There is Breidinger then, on the outside as Ankrum, just for a brief moment, getting caught up behind it. We will obviously try and use our high line there. See if we can maintain some speed. Keep it off the wall. Thank you, just about. There's Chandler Smith there. I don't think he was expecting us to appear still on his outside there. But through 3 and 4, that is where we are strong. There's 2 laps to go then in this first stage. And Corey Heim, once again, I feel like he pretty much leads the end of stage 1 in every single race we do so far this campaign. Ankrum. Whoa, I didn't know if he wanted to try and just cover me off or wanted to just give me a bit of a squeeze there. But I think we need a much lower line. Or through turn 1 and turn 2. Maybe this higher line, though, better at looking after the tyres as well, though. We'll have to wait and see by the time we get to the end of the stint now. I mean, we're down to 63%. So tyre wear has definitely got worse and worse towards the end of this first stage. And those tyres are not going to be fun by the end of stage 2. Having a look then, once again, trying to get the run on Ankrum and Majeski there. Back on the run towards the flag. White flag in the air, then as Majeski gives us a big old squeeze. Jack Wood there on the outside, and we just get a bit caught up in the draft and cannot bring the truck where I need it. Majeski will say thank you very much, and again, it is more of a slide job than a hail melon there as we try and prepare ourselves down the backstretch. Here comes Chandler Smith as well, trying to go for a big dive, and I just don't have the grip or the confidence. But maybe if we can get back underneath him on the exit, are we going to be able to get the run off the final corner? No, we're not. Chandler Smith will hang on there, and P8 come the end of stage 1. It's points, but it definitely could have been a few more there by the end of that first stage. I think we're going to have to pit for tyres, though. I think this place is an absolute tyre killer, and we haven't got much fuel either. So, yeah, we're going to have to take... We have to obviously take a little bit of fuel. Then we'll take... Oh, I think I want to risk it. Do I risk it? I'm going to risk it, and I hope that we can move up the order a bit. We're going to go with 1 can of fuel, so I might have to do some fuel saving, but 4 tyres as well. No repairs, luckily, to sort out, but yeah, everybody then into the pit lane here. So we're going to have to really manage the fuel mileage, but we haven't even gained from it. That's a bit annoying. So maybe that was a risk for absolutely nothing, or everybody else is doing the same thing as well, but a bit more confidence then, restarting up inside the top 10. So let's see if we can just close off there. Any kind of run from the outside, from the inside line. It's back down in towards turn 1. I believe that is Ben Rhodes. Yep, Grant Enfinger now trying to look around the outside. As Daniel Hemrick there will just sweep through. But yeah, we're going to have to try and manage the fuel then this time round. As he reckons we're already down to 16 laps worth. I do not want to have to pit on the green here. If it means sacrificing a few spots but making sure we stay on the lead lap, then I'll have to go for it. Oh, there we go, Chandler Smith trying to get a good run up the top of the hill. Are we going to be able to try and get past him? Are we going to be able to get past Ankrum as well back into turn 1? Doing what I couldn't do in stage 1 there. And I mean, look at that when you've got the grip. Oh, Lane Riggs there really covering us off as Kyle Busch there drifting up the racetrack as well. There are trucks everywhere as we try and push our way down the backstretch then. As all this is doing is allowing Larson and Heim just to scamper away up at the front of the order there, but Ankrum again getting the elbows out. And I'm going to have to try and work with Rowdy out of the final corner then. Can we try and push him back past Majeski in towards turn 1? I mean, look at that. Kyle Busch there, huge amount of speed as we scrape down the wall, trying to just stick with him through turn 1 and turn 2. Gonna give Ankrum as much room to breathe this time around there, as again we were getting a nice slingshot out to the back straight, 3 wide. with Majeski on the outside as well. But we are through. But we are absolutely burning through fuel. Well, we are definitely saving a bit of fuel in this race so far, but I think we're upsetting a lot of people in the process there. Just starting to claw a little bit more back. But we need just under 2 laps worth, ideally, if we want to make this work. And, well, hindsight is a beautiful thing, but I'm already a bit concerned that this isn't going to be the right idea for us, unless we can get a big draft off of Ankrum. But I'm just worried, yeah, we're going to drift back down the order a little bit here. I was hoping that maybe we'd have a bigger advantage earlier on. Obviously with, you know, running a bit less fuel in the truck, but it doesn't seem to make that much of a difference, to be honest, in them at the moment there. As last time around, it was pretty much as we ticked over the extra lap. This time round, it's by the time we get down in towards turn 1. It reckons we've still got 10 laps worth of fuel. There goes Lane Riggs down the inside as well. So there we go. We are definitely saving a bit, but it's taking a lot of concentration as well, and that hurts my brain. Of course, I'm trying to fuel save a bit, but ultimately the perfect thing to happen here would, of course, be a caution. Just spend a couple of laps pootling around the circuit, and then hopefully that would mean we'd save the fuel we need to. But, I mean, everything's bigger in Texas, and I think if we're going to get a wreck, it is probably going to be quite a big one in this race. Obviously, all the lift and coast, though, is allowing me just to keep my lines a bit cleaner through turn 1 and turn 2 there. I really am learning the importance of kind of hugging the apron. As you can see, though, even with that big lift, Lane Riggs still losing ground to us. Majeski still can't find a way by. But 7 laps worth of fuel. We've got to save just over 1 now. About 1 1/3 more. Well, maybe with some help from lap traffic, then we might just be able to save a bit more fuel towards the end of stage 2. But I think kind of the big play is going to make sure that we can get onto the last lap of this second stage. It's also quite interesting to kind of learn. I guess the only race that's really come down to fuel mileage was Phoenix, wasn't it? In that final race last season, of course, after Sawalich had already wrapped up the championship. But how far can a NASCAR truck go without any fuel left in it? Like, how far can we coast our way around this venue then? Because obviously we'll have to wait for the top 10 to finish the stage before everything locks in. And of course, as we are currently still inside that top 10, it makes our life a little bit more awkward there. But just getting a bit of a gap from Majeski and Ankrum then just behind us. Or sorry, is Ankrum in front still? Can't even remember. I'm losing my marbles in this race. No, it's Hemrick now, sorry. That is the truck behind us here. But I'm just staring at the fuel usage. I think probably, oh, there you go. Fuel warning light is now up, so that normally signifies 2 laps to go. There's Norm Benning there. Come on, man, just move out of the way. Tony Breidinger. Do I dare wreck her for a 3rd time to make sure we get a caution? I don't think I can, unless she doesn't move out of the way through 3 and 4. Come on, get on with it. Unless you're going to give me a nice big draft back towards turn 1, but I don't think she will there. As around the outside we will go. Oh, she's trying to put me in the wall. Come on. We're lapping you. Oh, she's still there. She's still there. Easy does it. I've got quite the beef with Cody Breidinger this season. And, well, like I said, I apologise to all her fans that maybe aren't too happy about this. But when is this truck then going to start coughing? That is the real question now. So we've got a decent gap over Majeski a little bit further behind. So, like I said, as long as we get onto that last lap, as long as we don't run out of fuel before then, I'll be pretty happy. But will it immediately run out when it says 0 laps? Or is that kind of you've got 0.9 laps still remaining? I don't know whether it works like iRacing or more, say, like F1 games or anything like that. So there you go. Team want us to pit this lap, but we can't afford to do it because Heim will lap us, and I do not want to go a lap down in this race. So as long as we make it onto the final lap of this first stage, that is going to be the most important thing there, as we're going to cancel the pit stop with the team. And now I'm just going to try and keep my foot to the floor. We've made it onto that last lap, though. That is super important. There's the white flag out in the air. There's Corey Heim then, making his way down the backstretch. Looks like he's going to make it 2 stages from 2. Not so often has he done that this season, because often we've ended up claiming one of them off him. But there we go. The truck now spluttering. Come on, make it down the backstretch. We've got a little bit more in her, apparently. Fuel is low. You don't say. We've got none at all, mate. As we try and make our way through the final corner. There you go. She's gone. She's absolutely gone then come the end of stage 2. Can I get a bit of a push from somebody on the run to the line? Yes, we can. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we didn't even lose a spot then by the end of stage 2 there. Another 4 playoff points as well. As there you go. Yeah, we are definitely going to be pitting. We are definitely Oh, stage 3 is really long. I didn't realise this. So fuel will not go to the end then. And tyres as well is going to be very, very interesting. So that's going to make things really spicy towards the end of this race. We are likely going to have to make a green flag a green flag pit stop here. So clearly, yeah, the 2 times fuel actually making life very interesting. As night has now fallen here as Daniel Hemrick jumping us apparently through the pit lane as well. But how will that kind of spice things up right towards the very end? We probably want to try and stretch out the fuel as best as possible, just in case we get a caution or anything like that. But of course it does then mean you could be vulnerable to an undercut as well then. But nightfall descending then here at Texas Motor Speedway. And now of course we can afford to go maximum attack once again. Through turn 1 and turn 2 there. We've already got someone back on my outside. That is Majeski once more. But I want to try and move towards the front then and really try and put Heim under some pressure. Because Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson have not been able to do that so far this evening. Oh, down the middle there. Make sure we give Chandler Smith some room on the outside there. But down the middle, we've got a big run back in towards turn 1. Will Lane Riggs be able to do anything about it? We will door him. So we get right up to the back of Ankrum. Oh, right into the side of Kyle Larson. I don't care. I got beef with him. Oh, he's trying to turn me. Kyle Larson then. We've got to get off his door. As he's not happy with us there. He's beating and banging down the back straight. I'm going to give him what he's giving me there. Through down in towards turn 3 and turn 4. And like I said, maybe picking fights with Cup Series drivers is probably not the best way to go about things. But I also want to remind him that I'm not here to mess about. We are here to try and move our way up the ranks. And of course, the ultimate goal is to win the NASCAR Cup Series there. As Kyle Larson then having a look back to the inside of Ankrum through turn 1 and turn 2. Will the 18 be able to cover off the 7? I don't think he will. You can see there Chandler Smith now. Oh, in that 38. Trying to get a little bit closer as well. Then it's surely Larson down in towards 3 and 4 is going to be able to make that move happen. Can we try and follow him through that big correction as we make our way through 3 and 4? There is Ankrum. Just cuts down in front of us there. Takes all of the downforce off the nose. And we wash up wide to that outside wall. So where is Ankrum going through turn 1 and turn 2? They're completely misjudged his rotation point. And we will say thank you very much. About to start lap 50 then. This race feels far more like a marathon than a sprint at the moment. As we have closed up to the back of Kyle Larson. I've just taken a couple of laps, taking things easy. I'm just weighing up as well the speed of Kyle Busch and Corey Heim up towards the front of the order there. As to the inside of the 07 truck in towards turn 1 and turn 2. Don't wash up the racetrack too badly. So there you go, Larson there still able to carry the speed off of the corner. Try and make sure that we keep it pretty clean and tidy between the pair of us this time round. But if a caution came out now, you would definitely still not be able to stretch the fuel right towards the very end there. It's great to see Larson, bit of confidence there around the outside. Tries to give me a bit of a pinch on the run back to the line. But hopefully now we're going to slot up through and into P3. There we go. Just about get the call that we are clear. And we will move up the racetrack towards him just a little bit as well. There is all through to 1 and turn 2. Stay out of that wall. Come on. Keep it clean. Keep it tidy. Gap to Heim now 3 seconds. But yeah, I mean, we've got 14 more laps of fuel. I think I just want to take this truck as sensibly as far as I can. But the other big debate is going to be tyres. Do you want to take a fresh set of tyres towards the end of the race as well? Or do you risk staying on the old set? I kind of want to know what the AI would do, because I'm worried about taking tyres, the AI don't, and then we've got a huge advantage again. I think it's the sensible call, but whether it's the call the AI will take is a very different question.
Car outside.
Oh, no, 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 I didn't mean to wreck you, Clay. Oh, he was just in the way, so I thought I'd give him a bit of a shove, and that really now creates a bit of drama here. Caution is out. Will we be able to pit to get to the end? It reckons 25 laps worth. So I think, I mean, we've got to go for it, don't we? We've got to try and take a cheap pit stop now. But I think we'll take tyres, and then if we need to, we'll do a splash right at the end of the race then. What will everybody else do here? Will they just stay out and try and extend the stint a bit longer? Yes, they will. So only myself and Sawallich pitting then. Fenhouse now getting a free pass, and everybody else then is 2 laps down here. So we've got to try and make an impact then off this restart, because everybody has still got 1 more pit stop to make. But we should, in theory, have quite a nice advantage for a little while longer here. As there we go, William Sawallich once again then. Fame inside by the time we get into T1 and turn 2. But it is great to see a bit more strategy now inside of these races as well, especially some of these longer events there, as you can see immediately. Oh, I thought I saw a gap down the middle, but apparently not. And I probably should have backed out of that one there as 3 wide and 3 and 4. I've got to give Andres Perez de Lara a bit of respect because, of course, he did help us win that Daytona 500 back at the start. Well, not the Daytona 500, but you know what I mean. The Craftsman Daytona race at the start of the year. So Tana Gray, easy, easy, easy. Don't want to get too pushing and shoving down through turn 1, but when we've got the grip to get around the outside of a few people, including maybe Parker Kligerman, I mean, Matt Crafton there getting absolutely swallowed up as we make our way down the backstretch. Can we get to the inside, though, of the 75? Down, keep it hugged through 3 and 4 there. We're making up some good progress, but this is exactly what I should be doing once again. At least I know that the AI, of course, will have the advantage a bit later on in the night. So we've got to try and obviously take the advantage where we can there as Ben Rhodes. Well, another one that obviously we had a bit of a battle with earlier on in the night. But, oh, I'm still leading. And again, but it's been a little while since I found that outside wall. But we found it once again there as Connor Mosak will reclaim the spot. Maybe so will Stuart Friesen down in towards 3 and turn 4. And we try and get a run. Dare I believe around the outside we will go. And there we go, we've gone and pulled it off. Well, looking at it then, 21 laps left of this race. I think we could try and stretch the fuel. I think that's the play here. Try and see if we can make a difference and get the truck all the way to the end then, because the game reckoned we were going to be about 6 laps short, which I obviously believe isn't possible. 3 laps, though. I mean, we basically made that back up in stage 1, and we've got ever so slightly longer to do it here in, oh, sorry, at the end of stage 2 even, so I think we could try and make this happen then. So as long as we just sit, you know, in the draft of like a Jake Garcia or something like that for a little while longer. I mean, the AI, obviously, you're going to be pitting quite soon, but it'll help us look after the tyres as well. This might be a fantastic play there, but you can just see we've got a bit too much speed on Jake Garcia, then down in towards 3 and 4, but yeah, just a little bit of lift and coast. We can definitely make this fuel mileage up. Definitely notice how much the draft helps with carrying the speed off of the corners there as Jake Garcia on that 13. Again, if we can just get the draft back into turn 1, you get so much extra speed from it. And of course, that just means you can lift out a whole lot earlier. As Garcia now, I don't think he likes having me right in his mirrors. So we're going to try and help him get past Ben Rhodes then as we make our way down this backstretch. Of course, if we got another caution, that would basically be GG for everybody else. We would know we can definitely go the distance. But at the moment, we are steadily bringing the numbers in the right direction as well. I like sticking to the back of that Quanta car, Quanta truck even, at the moment. As we will again try and give him a big old shove into turn 1. That's who I want to save fuel with. I'm happy to try and help him work up the order. He's immediately there trying to have a look for a run on Raja Karuth as well through turn 1 and turn 2. But 20 laps remaining then of this race. And we are about to tick down to 17 laps of fuel. There it goes, but Jake this time round doesn't want to sit in the top 10 yet for whatever reason. The high side through 3 and 4 seems to be really, really strong for the AI. Again, you can see Garcia all trying to go for it, and there we go. Cars are now pitting. So this is going to be really, really interesting, and now we've got to try and make our move immediately. Switching it on there to the outside of Garcia. Big send in towards turn 1, but this will kind of define what our advantage is a bit later on in the race there as Heim. He's got a decent buffer over us, but you lose probably near enough a lap, I would have thought. Still around a circuit like Texas there, but when will Heim pit in? I don't know whether having more upgrades will make your truck more economical as well, or whether it doesn't really make much difference. I would assume, obviously, where it's more aerodynamic, everything like that, it might be a little bit lighter as well. It should help. But of course, it also means you're then normally on the throttle for a lot longer as well. As you can see there, Raja Karuth, yeah, you pretty much lose exactly 1 lap then around here. So that might be the gap then between ourselves and Heim when he does finally dive into the pit lane there. But I love races like this that come down a bit more to fuel mileage. I guess the big thing is for us though at the moment is I probably want to try and continue putting laps on as many trucks as possible in case we get a caution late on in the night. Because of course it'll mean as many of them as possible and then 1 lap down. And hopefully we will be less vulnerable towards the end of the race there, as still side by side with Caden Honeycutt through turn 1 and turn 2. What position are we up to now? We're up to 3rd then. So it's just Heim, Riggs and myself there alongside Garcia and Rhodes a bit further back. But there we go. We have lapped Kyle Larson in this race. And I try and get down in front of him. No, we can't. And Larson absolutely is not going to work with me here. Heim is in. So I believe Riggs is also in. So we are up then to the lead of this race. And, well, as much as I want to continue my feud with Larson, it is not worth it at the moment. 13 laps worth of fuel. We are going to be monitoring that very, very closely. What is the gap? So Sawalich has stayed out. Venhouse has stayed out as well. So maybe Sawalich as well is trying to make the fuel mileage work. But Heim, he's still going to come out a good 20 seconds behind us. More than 20 seconds back. He's, yeah, looking at about 24. Oh, there we go. I think Sawalich has run out of fuel then late on towards... as we get towards the end of this race. Or he's definitely dropping back quite badly towards Venhouse here. But Corey Heim is really not gaining that much on us at the moment. I think he knows that we are still incredibly low on fuel. Still about a lap and a half under where we need to be. And with only 10, 11 laps to go, that is going to mean that we're going to lose bags of time in those final couple as well. So I think Heim knows he just basically needs to count me down in this race. And he is already starting to take a bit of time out of us as well. As Sawalich there, I mean, he's drifting back. But is Sawalich trying to make the fuel mileage work as well? I've honestly got no idea. Venhouse surely can't, because of course he got the free pass, but I honestly don't know. This is what I love about fuel mileage races, and obviously it's something that we've kind of lost from Formula 1, isn't it? Because every race are able to make it on fuel, and they're monitoring that from about lap 3, but obviously in NASCAR you get a bit more variety with it, and look at that, 10 to go. We have got 8 laps still in the tank, or 8 and a bit laps in the tank, but that is still not enough. Could we hope for another caution before the end? There's Tony Breidinger. I could try and make one, but I think we'll let off the number 5 for now. Oh, there you go, Venhouse now jumping. Getting jumped even, I should say, by Corey Heim then later on in the day, and I don't think it's long before the same fate befalls William Sawalich here. But great to see our old ARCA rival, of course. We finished 1-2 with him back at Daytona to kickstart the campaign. Great to see him as well, happy to try and kind of throw his hat in the ring and see if he can do something a bit extravagant towards the end of this race there. Don't think it's going to work out for a win for him, but, I mean, surely he can hang on ahead of Lane Riggs as well, who's still about 6 seconds behind him late on in the day there, as just see they're still actually able to overtake some of these slower trucks as well. But Heim now has only got one more driver in his sights, and that, of course, is this guy. Oh no. Oh, I thought that was a caution. I thought that was a caution then. We are not pitting. Our spotter does not seem to understand that. Our crew chief doesn't seem to realise that we are not going to pit. I thought that was a caution, though, which would have worked out absolutely perfectly for us as someone's into the pits. Is that... Oh, I know, it's Sawalich. William Sawalich then has dived into the pit lane. He doesn't think he can do it. So Venhouse then, the only other driver still out here that has not pit under green late on in the day. Corey Heim took about 3 seconds out of me on that last lap. Of course, it wouldn't be enough in of itself, but we are basically assuming that we are going to run out of fuel in the dying stages here. But it's just a question of how much time will we lose trying to lift and coast towards the end, because we know Heim, he'll have fresh tyres, he'll have enough fuel to get him to that finish line. He will just want to try and do everything he can. He will be pushing like crazy towards the end of this race there, as there you go, 2 laps left on the fuel. 3 laps still to go, though, here. Is this a gamble that has maybe gone too far? I mean, we're too deep in now. I've just got to try and risk it, haven't I? Right towards the end of this race there, as I think that is Venhouse in as well, I would assume. Yep, Venhouse has dropped into the pit lane then, so he will not stand a chance getting to the end. We are the only trucker out here that is still trying to make this happen, and losing more and more pace to Heim, though, at the moment. But as long as we can stretch the fuel, that is all that really matters. 2 more to go. Still reckons we've got 2 laps in the tank. But how soon will it dip then down to 1? Fuel is low. So there we go then. We know it is very, very tight. But as long as we can just keep being smooth, keep being sensible, we can try and make the fuel mileage work here. On to the penultimate lap then of what has been a very, very interesting and weird race here from Texas. But absolutely the kind of truck series racing I want to see. Some of it comes down to fuel mileage, a bit of beating and banging around the racetrack as well. over the course of the night. And, well, it might not be thanks to Texas itself, but it is certainly going to leave us with a potential standout finish here. One more lap to go here from Texas. Team are requesting I do a splash and dash, but we are absolutely not doing that. Tyres are pretty shot as well. But when will this truck start spluttering? There's no point looking at the fuel anymore. We know we've got 0 laps worth left in her as we try and get the power down out of 1 and 2. Heim's still 16 seconds back. Will we have enough to get back around towards the line, though? I think we will, as there we go. The truck is gone. That was the last little bit of fuel going through the system. And can we get her back towards the line then? I wish you could dip the clutch or something like that. As the AI making their jump on us, Honeycutt and Matt Mills making their way through. Out of the final corner, though. Win number 4. And back to the top of the championship as well. Fuel mileage for the first time in a while makes the difference. And there we go. The SpeedyCash.com 250 winner here from Texas Motor Speedway is your boy in the 94 truck there. I mean, that's got to be one of the most dominant Truck Series victories we'll see all year. Corey Heim, though, in P2 ahead of Lane Riggs. Ankrum just ahead of Kyle Busch, who once again right on the money, but just cannot seem to get it to work out for him. Kyle Larson just ahead of Chandler Smith with Majeski, Hemrick, and Caden Honeycutt all inside your top 10. And it was only those 10 that stayed on the lead lap there. Right at the rear of the field, Stephen Malozzi, 5 laps down come the checkered flag. That is suboptimal. And there we go then, a huge boost to our reputation as well, of course. And, you know, it's wins like that that really do kind of up your level in NASCAR. You know, those weird wins. I think it was always Jeremy Mayfield. I think he could never win a race normally, could he? Could Jeremy Mayfield up in the Cups here as well. Every win he ever got was like wild or down on fuel mileage or a big wreck or in a big race or something like that there. But a huge, huge boost for us and the team as well. With a playoff position locked in, Beard has 9 more races of the regular season to prepare for the round of 10. Can Beard continue to build on this momentum, or will the 94 fall short of the finish line there? That was some hot stuff out there. Stephen Malozzi from the back of the pack there. I loved to see that one. William Sawadich there. It was a challenging race today, but Matt Beard didn't upset anybody. Thank you, Sawadich. I appreciate it. Matt Beard, remember, we're out here racing, not playing bumper cars. I'm pretty certain Stuart Friesen was a lap down in the end, so you know what, mate? I don't care. I waved past you as you were still doing laps and I was down in victory lane. And there we go then, a huge amount of cash as well. Sadly, not the most points this weekend once again. But, yeah, Corey Heim, I think, is probably going to be too consistent for our own good over the course of the campaign, though. $56,000 in our back pocket. And, of course, another victory as well there. But, yeah, safe to say, the truck did take a fair whack throughout the course of today's racing as well there. That, though, should mean we are back up to the top of the championship with win number 4 of the campaign, though, but almost now 100 points back behind Heim. But even though, despite that, we've still got more playoff points. So I guess we'll take that one as well there. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back next time out then, returning to Kansas Motor Speedway. I'm looking forward to that. Happy memories from Kansas.